Good day, world. Welcome to Be in the Moment. Today, we are most excited to spend some quality time together with co-founder and CEO of HandCash app. Alex Agut is empowering gamers through player-to-player marketplaces with HandCash app. That's handcash.io. He is a husband and lover of basketball, as well as a proud Spaniard. So welcome today, Alex Agut. Hello, Alex.
Hey, Rory, good morning. Thanks for the intro.
Thank you. Yes. And we're also excited that we have as co-host today the multi-talented and just a wonderful woman, our friend and teacher, Rae. So Rae, welcome.
Hi.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, so Alex, I understand you are currently based in Europe, and Rae is up north in the great state of Ohio, and I am all the way down south in Marietta, Georgia.
Nice. Nice places to be in.
It is. So Alex, can you tell us a bit about where you come from and where you are right now?
Yeah, well, I'm from Spain, from a small town in the East Coast called Burriana. And yeah, I lived most of my young life over there. And then I started doing businesses and then we were hired by Accenture in Madrid and we moved to the capital. But I've always been like a small town guy and, I like my barbecues, beach, all that. So I am pretty, I wouldn't say I'm one of these fancy San Francisco, VC guys or whatever. It's just like, it's not the kind of person that I am. I'm more of a small town guy and I enjoy the little things and simple things, honestly. That's basically who I am. I played basketball all my life until I had quite a serious injury a few years ago, and I just fully recovered from my shoulder. And I don't know what else to say about that. But if you know me, you know that I'm a meat lover. I like basketball, and I'm from Spain. So I think with those three things.
Oh, great. That's a lot of good detail to follow up on. So as a kid with my cousins and my auntie and uncle, we used to play a lot of horse where you just shoot hoops and you all stand in a certain place and shoot hoops. And that was a lot of fun. But you actually played in the team sports with your other neighbors. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it was in a regional league. So, I played at not a professional level, but quite a high level. And I really miss that. I really miss that.
Wow, I didn't realize that. So you have that competitive sports background.
Yeah, competitive as fuck.
Yes, we know that. So tell us, what's your favorite basketball team? I know on your profile, I often see you on X, aka Twitter, posting about the sports. So what's your favorite American basketball team?
Oh, the Miami Heat. I'm a huge fan of the Miami Heat.
How convenient.
Very convenient. Yeah, I've always liked that franchise. I like the way how tough they are, and the mindset and the culture that they have on their organization. And honestly, they always get great results with very little resources. And I don't know, I always appreciated that they very greedy.
Yes, I appreciate that gritty resourcefulness too. That is the mother of invention. So you have, together with your colleague Rafa, built HandCash Wallet. And Rae and I, we have both been following you and your business progress over the past 5 years or more. Rae has more of an expert view as she is a developer and a builder of apps that have actually launched from your portal. So I'm real interested, Rae, to hear about when was the first time you heard of HandCash? Can you still remember that?
Sure. Trying to think who Probably just my friend signed me up for that, and then we realized let's use this for our site for Gibio, and which we switched those names, but we haven't we really like the wallet just because it's very versatile and you can do so much with it now. And and I know you guys have a lot of changes since the last time I think we even put it up on our site. So there's I guess I'm sure Alex will talk more about that, but I'm really excited about some of the new features that that you just recently posted about with account we call it OAuth sign in. But yeah, that's been what we've been using it for at least 2 years. And everyone loves the HandCash wallet because of the notifications when you receive that little ding, and then being able to play around with what is that, the app, the Pay Pistol, which I know isn't not working right now, but I know a lot of people like to use that feature.
Yeah, well, the PayPist, it technically works. The thing is that Twitter changed its policy recently on accessing the API. So the main feature that everybody used and loved it was that you can say, leave your handle or reply with your handle on to this Twitter post, and we'll ping some money to everyone on the list. The problem is that right now the pricing structure for that API is crazy high and just doesn't make any economic sense. And even Twitch, they turned off many of the features like Twitch jobs and all that because of, I think at some point X will it's still hard for me to say X when I want to say Twitter, but I think they will do something about it because it's something that a lot of people are complaining about. There are a lot of changes coming to HandCash. In fact, I don't know how much longer it will still be called HandCash because it's such a different concept from when we started. And we realized that at the core, HandCash is a great platform. We started as a wallet, but we eventually creating these APIs for developers to build on top of this. We created a great platform for monetization, and most over half of our clients have been games. So we are trying to focus at least the marketing and all that on attracting gamers and game developers, because I think it's the sector that I think it's easier to target at this point for as early adopters. But as well, Ray has a fantastic app. It's one of the ones that has the nicest integrations of our technology, by the way. And that's a podcasting platform, and the payments and all that are run through HandCash, and that's something that we're really excited about, taking this next step. I realized that you took that screenshot before we changed the we changed the icon for the Halloween promotions and all that. Rory was asking me today why we changed the color to to orange.
Yes. So
No, it's just the marketing. It's just the marketing guy that we have that he wants to do some Halloween promotions and all that, and I'm fine with it.
Thank
but yeah,
you.
yeah, we are turning HandCash into a gamers marketplace, as we say, and I think it's very exciting that the login system is much nicer. You don't need the phone number anymore. It's something that we required, not because we want to piss people off, of course, but we transitioned from a regular wallet with your 12 words and all that into a keyless wallet like maybe 3 years ago. And the thing is that we needed for more for enhanced security, we needed two-factor authentication out of the box. And asking you for the phone number is something that most financial apps do. But the thing is that gamers and people in crypto don't give you their numbers so easily. So it is something that I think it will improve the conversion rates for people who want to join HandCash or any of the any of the of the apps of our partners. And I think it's quite of a change when you just press a button and you're logged in with your Google account or something. Just it should have been like that since the very beginning, but it's technically more complicated than people realize, because we are still in this weird non-custodial system that we created with shared keys and all that. So it was kind of a technical feat to get here.
Yes, and all of us that have our HandCash wallets, we know we've witnessed the journey. And I remember back definitely in 2018 when I saw HandCash make the switch together with us. HandCash's evolution is representative of all evolutions, and even of the Bitcoin itself, the Bitcoin's own evolution and development and growth. So yes, of course, Bitcoin was born with all the capabilities, and then over time, things have happened, and we're all aware of that. But I remember when the chain was continued from BTC, it went to BCH, and then HandCash, this I call the HandCash green. You then went to BSV, and it was so exciting. Like, wow, those smart guys are onto BSV. Woohoo, let's go, choo choo. So that was my big impression from 2018 of HandCash, the brand. And I've always kept it as in my mind, that is HandCash green, that logo.
Now, interesting that you see it as something exciting. For us, it was a fucking nightmare for months. the fork and all that crap. Oh shit. Yesterday, someone sent me a meme. I will send you the meme later. I don't think the world is ready for that meme. But yeah, it was a very interesting transition period from BCH when there was a lot of momentum, I have to say. Seemed like everything was favorable, and it was very easy for us to get users every single day, people using the wallet and all that. And suddenly all the network effect died, not just for BSV, but also for BCH. And the huge community that we've been building that was growing very, very, very strongly, got dissolved because of all this political situation between these groups and billionaires and money. And so I have to be 100% honest. I wish that never happened in the first place. I think that was a huge fuck up for everyone to let that happen. But it is what it is, and we ended up using BSV, and technically we've had other non-technical issues and difficulties to get here, and a lot of setbacks and stuff because of, again, political drama and all this crazy shit in crypto. But the technology is awesome, and you cannot argue against that.
Right. Yes. Well, that's why, because it was a time of apparent rift and destruction, seeing the HandCash logo go into carrying on into the future, the Bitcoin blockchain, into BSV as the protocol, that was a leadership. That was a signal of leadership. So I always look back fondly on the green logo. So then a couple days ago, let's look at your logo. So this is the HandCash logo from the X, aka Twitter. And we have HandCash app is what you can follow. It says, tired of pouring money into video games and getting nothing in return? HandCash players buy, earn, and trade their digital game items with real money. And I think for our generation, this is so meaningful because all my life, I've seen guys playing video games. And I myself even got super into Nintendo back in the day. And I think that what you're doing is so exciting. Not only is it bridging into every industry of the world, but something so simple as letting play be monetized, letting gamers earn. I mean, think about it. Some dude or dudette could possibly support their family playing games in the future. I mean, is that realistic? Do you think, Rae? Because Rae herself is a huge gamer.
Yeah, so Rory, she actually introduced me to the that was it the Coon Battles card. But yeah, a lot of people do make money off of playing games, but that's a to me that's a lot of work, because you gotta basically like that's your life now, playing that. But yeah, you probably could do that. It'd be really I would love to see like HandCash logo or whatever you guys choose to use for big gaming competitions.
Yeah. I think I agree with those statements, but the main reason why we are doing this is not because we think that people can, some people make a living out of playing video games, but why the reason why we started with crypto in the first place is that we saw that the technology for enabling peer-to-peer payments of any kind, doesn't matter if it's crypto or whatever we're talking about, digitally, it was very rudimentary and very, basically was limited to sending money through PayPal, and then you have to withdraw it to your bank account, and it was very limited, and also all of that had to happen outside of the context, in this case inside of a game or something, right? Outside. We realized that we could embed payments inside the UI to enable not only peer-to-peer payments, but when you think about it in these terms, it makes a lot of sense to enable peer-to-peer commerce. And I think peer-to-peer commerce is kind of at the core of everything that we do. Even it doesn't matter we talk about video games or whatever sector we are targeting to get users, but this is something that all of our partner apps and ourselves is what makes us special. It's like what makes Rae's platform special to is this ability of people to pay each other freely without third parties blocking. Like, why are you sending this money to? I need to see your invoices. I need to see proof of income or something like that, right? Which is kind of stupid that this day and age that we are having so many issues for sending payments. You wouldn't believe the kind of mess of situation we have with banks all the time ourselves. Like every time that we try to wire money to another company or to pay someone or a contractor or whatever, just ridiculously complicated. And I don't know, we just thought that it would make a lot of sense to start with fixing peer-to-peer commerce, just to enable all this untapped economy of gamers paying each other, not just because they're paying each other, but one of the things that we say over there in our profile, I think it's key, is that gamers are so video games used to be, years back, it used to be like you paid $50 or $60 for a video game and you played at home or whatever, and it was completely offline, and it was, you had the complete package, right? But then when micropayments started appearing, and and video game consoles and all that starting to connect into the internet, game developers are starting realizing that, maybe we can monetize game advantages. So the more you pay, the better you are at the game. And that started pissing a lot of people off. And a lot of games have flopped because they've been too abusive. And most games are still pretty abusive. The thing is that if you grind enough, like if you, like Rae said, if you spend the whole day playing that game, maybe you can catch up with someone that just spent like $200. And we think that's a broken economic model, and that can be easily fixed if you have a gamer to gamer economy where developers still take a cut on every single transaction. That's not an issue, but all transactions are rewarding because everything happens at market rates that are defined by gamers themselves. So instead of you dictating like, hey, this this item is $40 and nobody buys it or whatever, and you start trying discounts or whatever, just let the market decide what's the value for that, and you'll get a very dynamic market where users feel like they're part of that economy that you're creating. Because all these games have huge valuations, and gamers feel like they get nothing in return. They just keep pouring and pouring money inside the game just to be able to compete, at least.
Right. It's like everything in the digital world, anything to do with video games or social media, it's all instinctual, animal based. It's all based on psychology of like, Jordan Peterson says with the lobsters, where it's trying to one up someone. So there's no economic incentive in the digital realm until Bitcoin and micropayments, specifically the ability to have micropayments, is enabling an economy, which an economy is all about people. It's about people in the market buying and selling. And that's what's so beautiful, is that HandCash has led the way through this era. And of course, we want to give shouts out to many other innovators in the scene, such as Centbee. Centbee was another one that I saw move into the development of Bitcoin into BSV. And I know that I have used their marketplace to take friends out to dinner. And even in the past, I did go shopping at Walmart using my Centbee wallet. And I think that all the ways that you leaders, HandCash, Centbee, and others in the scene are innovating and experimenting and keep trying new things. And you have the grit and the resilience to persevere over many different obstacles. And this is really leading the way for the entire world. And people might think, oh, that's hyperbole, you're exaggerating or something. No, I'm in on the latest. And I'm telling you that y'all are the ones that are streamlining into the future, for takeoff. So all of the other systems will follow along. And we have seen already, just with the most basic micropayment innovation of peer-to-peer payments, at least, maybe not micropayments, but peer-to-peer payments, is what led to Cash App. And Cash App is super popular. People talk about it all the time. They say, Cash App me, and Cash App me for donations, Cash App me for this and that. And people feel very easygoing with Cash App. But what is the difference between Cash App? How is Cash App not enough? Just really low level, like lower but below the bar of expectation. There's mediocrity and then there's expectation. So maybe PayPal was an innovation, but just not completely what leads to new economies. And then there's Cash App, which is like a copycat, and they're not enough. So am I just biased, or could you riff on that, Alex?
I think I think they work perfectly fine for what they do. I don't think that we need like a blockchain based Cash App or anything like that. I don't think that that's something that we need or anyone is asking for. But I think what's interesting about blockchain in general is that it allows a couple of people on a basement to just plug, like it's I don't know, like it's the public water, like tap water or something. Like you can just plug into this financial network that works worldwide 24/7. You don't need to ask permissions to anyone. And I think that concept is what is attracting a lot of innovators and entrepreneurs to the space, because you are free to build whatever you want and put the pay and make the payments anytime you want, not the way that these financial systems led you to do. And also, like Cash App, all these apps, the things that they still for the nature of their business, they're still confined with international borders for the most part. So So unless you just want to pay for whatever reason, you just want to pay $5 to a friend, that you went last night to have dinner or something, and you want to pay $20 back to that friend, or split a bill or whatever, that works perfectly fine with Cash App. But just imagine something like Twitch, right? Just imagine a network like a Twitter that everyone can join without any permissions, restrictions, wherever they are in the world, and just with their wallet and some Bitcoin. It doesn't matter if one guy is in Japan, the other one is in Minnesota, and whatever, and you have like 10 participants on the same payment, and you have like Twitch makes money, the referral makes money, the recipient makes money, and all of that happens instantly, worldwide, 24/7. You don't need to ask for permission. So I think it's just another concept. I mean, if you try to recreate what already works fine with fiat, if you try to recreate that with blockchain, maybe that's not necessary. But just all the opportunities that you can create by creating peer-to-peer commerce, I think it's a lot of untapped potential that if it's not us, someone else will come with the right formula for this. But I think it's one of those things that are game changers, and if you don't, that it has to happen one way or another. It has to happen. Peer-to-peer commerce, I think, is one of the untapped industries and untapped opportunities right now in the world.
Yeah, I was going to ask about it's probably hard to do then where there's like tip jars on Twitch for streamers. And so it would be hard to make something like that using like the HandCash wallet. I don't know a whole lot about that, because I was kind of reading that there's a company called Streamlabs that supply, I guess, like widgets for Twitch.
Yeah, maybe Rory wants to open that link that I sent. I don't know if you can show that. We have something called HandCash Me, and basically you just type HandCash Me / your handle, and you can use that QR code on any Twitch stream or anything like that. And people, it's not just for sending you money, but it's not a Bitcoin address. It is a HandCash. It's your HandCash ID address / whatever you want to call it, and people can add you as a friend or send you money, or I think it's pretty powerful. I don't know if Rory is able to show it, but it's pretty cool. And just by using just by changing that, in this case, Apagut, which is my Twitter handle, if you change it for whatever yours is, it should work. But anyway, maybe I think she's not able to show it.
Yes, I am. It's just I'm clicking a bit. Where's Alex Moon when you need him?
Yeah, I forgot about the user link. So it's just a QR code, and then, like you said, so people can send money immediately to the user.
Also, if you share it on Twitter, you will see that there's a very nice preview where you see the face. You will see the avatar, the name, the handle, and at the side you see the QR code without having to. You can pay people by sharing that link on Twitter, so it's pretty cool. So if you change it, if you go to the URL and change Apagut with your handle, you will see yours, and you can just take a screenshot or share the link anywhere and get payments.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's pretty easy.
Oh, you don't have a.
Yes.
You don't have a.
That was instantaneous.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. So
okay,
if I want to send you some money, I just have to go to HandCash.
Let's
open the scanner.
Let's hear the ding ding, please. I see. Andy,
I can see Rory without the avatar, and I can pay you like.
I need to update my avatar. So, hey, thank you. I just received it.
And it doesn't matter if you're in Idaho or Minnesota or Japan or whatever you want to be in the world. And I think it's pretty cool. And also we don't get any we don't take a cut on this. So Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
So this is great. This is great for streamers because we don't take any cut on this. So, I think Twitch, some of these companies get like 20, 30%. This is a direct connection between users, and we don't take any money out of this.
Well, I want to leave this up on the screen. Shout out to our friends in the chat room. I see Alex Vidal of CoinGeek and Andy Rowe, Sir Biscuit, NFT Boy. They're all saying good morning. So go ahead, guys, and ping me some Duro, okay?
I do
Duro.
I do have a question for you, Alex. So, like, I know a lot of apps have, like, you can leave a message. Is that something that just shows up through the app, or can you see that message on the blockchain, like looking at the transaction?
Oh, it only shows on the app because we were concerned about privacy situations where people saw what message were you sending to the other person. So it's not on chain. It's not on chain. I mean, if you use peer-to-peer PayMail, you can send through the encrypted communication channel. You can send the note and all that, but maybe we are too worried about privacy to maybe too much. Maybe too much.
Yeah, it depends who you are. Some people are really concerned about it. Myself, I'm not. I don't send a big amount of money all the time. It's mainly just like just to friends and through the through our site. But I can see like both sides, like why. I mean, I can't remember.
I just changed
question too.
Okay, I just changed my camera because for whatever reason it was too light, too bright.
Yes, and Alex, this is a quick change of subject, but one thing that I see in your posting is you are on a very carnivore diet, I believe.
Yeah.
So what is that about? I see you eating these delicious steaks and sausages on the grill all the time. How did this happen?
So this goes back, I guess, to my shoulder injury when I stopped playing basketball a few years ago, and I gained a lot of weight. Also, that kind of coincided with the start of COVID and the lockdowns and all that. So, I gained quite a bit of weight, and I tried the keto diet to go down a little bit, and it worked. But then I went back to the same weight or even more, and I realized that there were a few factors with that. One is that I know myself, and I'm not one of these methodical people that can weigh every single grain of rice and see, oh, I can only take like 50 grams of this and that.
Yes.
I cannot afford to live like, I don't want to live like that, and also I cannot afford to live like that, especially if I travel all the time. I cannot control that much what I eat. But I started following some carnivores. I think because it's not that I hate vegetarians, but they're always very like vegans and vegetarians, they're very passionate about their stuff, and they keep telling you all the time that they're vegans and vegetarians. And so I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe it's because I'm kind of a contrarian myself. I watched one episode of Joe Rogan where there was one guy called Dr. Sean Baker, I think, and he was telling that he was only eating meat, and you could see that he was strong as fuck, and he was in his early 60s. And I was like, oh, maybe I have to look into this. And because it was quite similar to the keto diet that I did previously. But the cool thing about this is that, well, when I started reading about all of this and watching videos about from other people, and saw some inspiring stories of people who had dropped like 50 pounds, 100 pounds, or whatever, that one of the things that they were saying was that this is the perfect diet for people who do not want to weight everything that they eat. And to me that sounds quite appealing because I thought that it would be more sustainable, which is what I was looking for. Because you can have like the perfect diet. I don't know if which is the perfect diet. I don't know. Maybe it's vegan, maybe it's whatever. But what? Oh, sorry. Give me a second.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, I know that I love vegetables and I love meat. So I want to eat, Brussels sprouts and broccoli all the time. And then I wonder if you're on the carnivore diet, can you still have a salad? Or are you restricted solely to meat? And then if so, is it all beef or can you have lamb? What about fish? So I'm very curious about your diet.
Well, I mean, if you want to be very, I mean, not just very strict, but the carnivore diet basically consists on eating meat, fish, bacon, eggs, butter, and salt, and that's about it. And the thing is that meat and fish is very broad, right? It's a very broad scope of everything that you can meet, you can eat. But there are some people that are very extreme and say that plants are trying to kill you and they have all these toxins and whatever, and they really don't want to eat any plants. And honestly, they're doing fine health wise. So it's kind of interesting too. I don't try to see in a very dogmatic way, because it's just like I'm. But I realized that over the first 3 months, I was more strict than I am nowadays. I saw a lot of benefits in terms of health. I used to have psoriasis, or I've been fighting with psoriasis for all my life, and I just realized in a few weeks into carnivore that my psoriasis basically disappeared, and that was interesting. Also, I felt much better. My joints, especially, have a pretty bad, pretty fucked up knee from an injury, a basketball injury again, like when I was younger, and everything. I don't know. I felt great, so I continued doing it. So for your question, it's not that you're not allowed or whatever. I don't take it as anyone is allowing me to do this or that or whatever. Just taking it as a reference, and instead of a diet, I'm seeing it as a which are the things that if I consume 90% of my time, or the time that I can control what I eat, which are the best things that I can eat. And I realized that it's basically beef, and that's it. If I could not just survive, but thrive only by eating steak. But I don't know if that's just me or that. But I think it's something that I'm seeing in a lot of people that I'm following on YouTube lately. And I think it's very interesting, because we've been told since we were kids, like, you have to eat all the vegetables and the food pyramid and all that, the food pyramid and all that. Yeah, I think it's upside down. I really think so.
They need to redo it.
I haven't done any studies on it. It's just that I realized that with carnivore, I feel at my best. And every time that I derail a little bit with that, from that, I don't feel as great. And so I don't want to be dogmatic, but if from now on 95% of what I eat is just meat, I think I don't have to think about a diet and this and that or whatever. I don't want to think in those terms, and it's more sustainable for me.
Keeps it easy.
And it keeps you away from carbs. Carbs are really the worst part of anyone's diet. When I had gestational diabetes, like, I had to count everything, which was like really, really hard. And you get that out of especially out of like prepackaged products. Everything's pretty like high carb, which converts to sugar. And like eating just meat, that really cuts everything out. You don't have to worry about anything extra in there. But yeah, I do love salads though. And what's really like funny to me, I remember getting so mad about so like a serving size of a banana, you're only supposed to eat like half of it because of the amount of carbs that are in it. And I was like, I don't want to like waste one, but I don't want to eat, usually you try to eat the whole thing in one sitting, but Yeah, like I do have some friends that are vegan, and and every time I talk to them, they're like, by the, they always like to bring it into the conversation about them being vegan, which is, that is funny. But she has some really good like recipes with like making pizza dough. But same with vegans though, like they have they can it's a slippery slope of like high carb diet for them too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because if you order a vegan patty, like a Morningstar vegan patty, that is normally all soy. So it's not even veggies. So I think that's the thing. If you do go vegan, you want to make sure that you are really eating the genuine lush veg. And yeah, I like it all. So the main thing
No,
is I've started to drink more alkaline water. So that's a step in the right direction,
yeah.
the pH balance. So yeah, we're always learning.
No, don't get me wrong. I love vegetables and I love fruit. I enjoy a very good apple or orange juice or whatever. I love that. It's just that I'm saying that in terms of health and maintaining the weight that I want, to me, it's super easy to do it with just eating meat, not thinking about how much. I eat when I'm hungry. I eat until I'm full, and that's it. And I don't have to count calories. And if one day I eat half a steak and another day I eat like 30 chicken wings, then it's okay. And no, and it sounds it sounds weird, but I barely I've never had breakfast or at least I don't used to have breakfast unless when I go to the US, because then I have breakfast almost every day with eggs and bacon and all that. It's amazing.
Excuse
So
me. I'm Alex. I must stop you here. Something very important that happened on Twitter was Ray gave you the shout out to go to the Waffle House. And I
the
just have to
waffle.
tell you, forget about the other places.
Oh yeah, see,
Only go to the Waffle House. The Waffle House is such a wonderful part of our culture. We love it.
Okay.
you can
Okay.
get the what is it, the loaded hash browns,
Yes.
and they put everything on it. It's really good. It's a
Okay,
great
cool. I
place,
like that.
great
I
place to
like
people
Dennis,
watch.
but
No,
I
yeah,
like Dennis,
this
but
is this is a whole other scene.
oh
But
really?
yeah, like
Okay.
there's a what is it? There's a really cool story about Waffle House. I think there's a place in Florida that like rarely shuts down. And I think they only shut down like a couple years ago because of a hurricane. But yeah, if you ever seen one, you should go in and get the loaded hash browns. It's pretty good. They have steak there. I don't know like how
Yes,
good it is, but
you could get it. And
No,
they have these little coffee cups, and their coffee's the best. I like their little raisin bread French or just toast with that.
yeah, that's
So
really
yes,
good.
Alex Vidal, he's saying, yes, Waffle House is
America's
America's
Town
town
Square.
square.
I go
Okay, I
to a
really
lot of
have to.
them for ghost hunts, and then I always seem to run into like motorcycle people. Like just I don't want to say motorcycle gang, but it's always like older people. They're having breakfast, in the afternoon, which is I'm doing the same thing. But yeah, it's a cool place to go to. Yeah, you need to at least do it like twice.
I will. I will. Thank you.
Yes. So when you move to Miami or when you're here on business trips, always have some breakfast at the Waffle House. Now, Senor Bruce also made a comment earlier. He says bacon makes everything better. So does cheese. And I have to agree. So, Alex, is cheese included? Is cheese a meat?
Well, yeah, it's included in the carnivore diet. I don't, but it's not recommended when you want to lose weight.
Okay.
So anything like milk, cheese, whatever is not recommended when you want to lose weight. But on a regular basis, once you're ready and whatever weight you want to be, it's fine in this diet. I do not eat cheese. because I'm lactose intolerant, and I try to avoid it as much as possible. So it doesn't make any difference to me in that sense.
Yes, tears are falling. Okay. Alex, you do look glowing. You look very healthy. So I think that definitely this carnivore diet is just so innate for you. It's very healthy for you. So that's cool to see. And I'm guessing probably based on blood type. Maybe our blood types have to do with our diet. I've heard that before as well. So I wonder if there's certain people that are better as vegans and others as carnivore diet, but it's absolutely fascinating. So I'm sorry I interrupted you. You were saying something about breakfast, the most important meal of the day.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what I wanted to say, but I think what we all can agree, and I think very little people could argue against this, is that most elimination diet, be it vegan or whatever, most people just tend to do better compared to the regular people that keep eating cookies all the time, and so I think you can do easily better on, be it vegan or carnivore or whatever, just by removing a lot of junk that we eat. And a
Totally.
lot of prepackaged food that have, there are some things that have like 50 or 60 ingredients and who knows what, and just ridiculous. But yeah, I think just by eliminating those things, you can do much better, regardless if it's carnivore or vegan.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you're true. We do have a lot of sugar just everywhere in our diet, like Ray said, with the carbs and everything.
Yeah.
So that was something. I'm so happy that we're meeting today because, when we're on social media and we could maybe reply on a thread, it's not the same as having a real world conversation. And even though it might not be business related, it is key to a balanced life, to health and wellness. And that is
Yep.
what business is for as well, and the economy is to give us the opportunity to thrive ever more and ever greater. So I did want to take a peek at the HandCash SDK. So also first, I wanted to go back and just look at this. This is some news that we've seen you tweet about business related. And we see here, Portal is what we always envisioned HandCash to turn into in its final form. It is the most disruptive platform for game monetization ever created, thanks to its digital items marketplace and embedded micropayments. So, and then I have done the Halloween colors at the bottom just with the website if some noobs want to just go check it out. But tell us, what's up with Portal, Alex?
Yeah, so I mean, Portal is the way we started calling it internally, because it's something else different from HandCash. So we launched the items marketplace like 2 or 3 months ago, and it debuted with Champions TCG cards, and it's very, very active, and we're making a lot of transactions, lots of new users that they find the marketplace, it's so cool, so very easy to use. And the only thing that it needed is that this marketplace didn't have the ability to log in with your HandCash account, because we didn't want to do it using our own SDK. We wanted to make it. We decided that was the natural step for HandCash as a product, just to become this vision of what we call the portal, which is that there are payments, but payments are what are running everything. But ultimately, what we want to create is a gaming platform, and we want it to be very dynamic, that you can do a lot of things, not especially everything related to payments, but I think payments are at the core of what makes this platform special for game monetization. So yeah, I think it's just the natural evolution of the HandCash project that we started years ago. I think the market is signaling very strongly that this is the right direction for us, and we are looking into ways of what do we do with the mobile wallet, right? Because it's been our staple for so long, but if we want to move forward, we cannot just be that's that's the mobile wallet that we put it on the website, and it kind of sucks. It's going to be replaced by the portal. So when you are trying to use the HandCash wallet on the web, you're going to be using the portal by default. So, but with the mobile app, the one that everyone loves and has on their phones, yeah, we are looking into turning it into a very nice companion app. Or the thing is that we have a lot of limitations regarding the kind of payments and things that we can do with NFTs and all that because of Apple, especially Apple, not so much Google. And so at least if we do it on the web, we can move away from all these restrictions and build the platform that we all want. But the thing is that the mobile wallet is very popular, and we are going to see what is going to be its specific role moving forward. It's something that's still kind of up in the air.
Neato. And I see here the logo for Real World Podcasts, which is developed by Rae and her colleague. And you recently did a rebrand, Rae. So tell us about that. What inspired you to do so?
Well, we were talking about how we wanted something easier to be, to say, because I feel like Row Podcast is kind of a mouthful, but
Yeah.
But yeah, Jay, like he's one that came up with those ideas, and I was like, yeah, that's actually really, a good idea to do, and that shortens the also the web address. But so actually, we have some updates coming soon. Actually, this week or next week, hopefully this week.
Right.
So yeah, we've been pretty busy, but we love the HandCash app just because it makes everything so much easier, especially with getting the users in there, and then everyone already knows how to use it, so they can navigate the site pretty quick. One thing I think, one thing we like about it too is like the PayMail addresses. That makes it pretty simple to send money to everybody.
Right, the PayMail.
Can I talk about one thing that we've been so there's one thing that we've been developing for the last few months, and we launched kind of silently because we it's still not 100% perfect to where we want it to be, but we have something called app created wallets. But basically it means that when we added the ability for developers to onboard people and get them a wallet without having to go to HandCash. So that would mean that from Real World Podcast, or Gibeon, the new name, I'm still getting used to, just like with Twitter and X.
Yeah.
You could sign up, imagine, with Google, and you get a wallet and all that hosted by us immediately. So that means that it's going to be much easier to onboard users. And also we are going to be providing a very easy widget for fiat ramps very soon. So, ideally we want to provide developers with all the tools, so they don't think that we are on the way. We just want to be there empowering the marketplace and the payments on the back end and all that. But developers have to understand that for us to offload all of that responsibilities to us, it's kind of a complicated process with all these keys moving around, the security. It's something that you don't want to have and also the default for crypto companies has always been like installing Chrome extensions and all that. The problem is that normal people do not install Chrome extensions, and I've never seen anyone that's been successful beyond ad blocker. And so, and also it's not very secure. It's not the best way to handle this technology. So it took us a while to figure out the right design for what we are building, but I think the results are going to be much better than anything that's been done in crypto, and it's going to be very clear that is the case very soon.
Fantastic. And
So we'll talk about that integration, because we want everyone to join Gibio on the, without any friction as soon as possible.
Yeah, because that makes it easier. Someone can just have like a Google account and then just type that in.
Just have your sign up Google, your sign up process on your website, and they receive an email to verify the account creation, all of that, and we do all this third-party computation stuff to create a wallet on the background, so you can still show the balance and all that on your website, but nobody has to realize. Nobody needs to know that that is hosted by HandCash or whatever. At least not at the beginning. Then, if they want to use the marketplace or they want to use HandCash for whatever reason, they can use the same account on HandCash. But we want to make it stupid easy for anyone to onboard, because one of the things that it was a challenge these years is that you can have a very successful game or platform or whatever, or very cool platform or game, but the problem is that when you want to spend money and you have to tell users to download another app, or just go to another site to create an account and then come back to my site and create another account, it's a mess. So we needed to streamline that, and that's what we've been working on this for over a year now, and we soft launched it with if you go to Haste and Lamint, both, they're already using this in production, and it's something that we're not promoting beyond some very controlled groups that we have right now. But it's working very well. And it's allowing them to onboard users without having to download their HandCash wallet and all that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I know we've been taking a while. We will have HandCash on Molly Match. We one of my partners, he's very stubborn. He wants to use Python still. But we actually have a new person that's going to help us out with that. Like they're going to, like you guys have the endpoints, so it won't take too long, but we'll have it up soon.
Cool.
Yes, thank you, Ray, for sending me the proper link. So here, this is what Alex.
I'm not sure.
This is
is that
docs.handcash.io/create-user-accounts. So when you devs go here to this site, then you have this resource for you to build and integrate with the peer-to-peer micropayment system that is HandCash. And I love here at the top, you have recipes and API reference and guides. So, on Twitter Spaces, we often hear the folks say, let's get cooking. What are we cooking? And if you want to know, go to the recipes here with HandCash.
I want to say that Ray helped us, I think it was last year, but she helped us a lot on improving the documentation for developers with her feedback. So thank you for that.
Yeah, we like this. It's that you guys did a lot of work.
No, it takes a lot of work to actually get this done right and explain the right way. Also because, you have developers building the documentation, and they kind of think and frame things in a different way, and sometimes not every developer thinks the same way or has the same background, so you have to go through a few iterations to make sure that everybody understands
you guys, in a short amount of time, you guys have you guys are doing a ton of stuff. All I know is it's you, Rafa, Brandon. I'm trying to think of, so, we're just what you guys have to handle. You guys did a lot, and everything looks great. And it's, working, no one's having any issues or anything with it.
Thank you.
And I see here you have Inscribe Ordinals tab. So what do you think of Ordinals, Alex?
What I think about Ordinals. So I think it's doing its job for now. I wish that more resources were put into this, because when it started, there was a, like last year when we integrated this, or it was early this year. I mean, time flies, man. So we just saw that the whole community was behind implementing one-shot ordinals, and it kind of replaced Run, because Run came. I don't know if I could say that it went out of business because it was open source, whatever. But the thing is that Run was discontinued as the standard for doing NFTs on BSV, and we were not 100% convinced about Run. We thought that there were a few things that could be improved, and seems like one-shot ordinals improve many of those things. And I think that a few, the peer-to-peer approach of it should be greatly improved, so we don't have to rely so much on the indexer. So it has a few issues, but what we like is that it's very simple, and especially that everyone agreed on something finally for the first time on BSV, right? Like,
wow.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a novelty.
Impossible.
It's kind of a novelty. So I like the fact that we a lot of companies stood behind one-shot ordinals and kind of became the default for BSV, which is nice, and it was something that we needed. Maybe on a technical level, I think on a technical level it's perfectly fine for NFTs. I just hope that the same fire that was powering the development of all these tools and the indexer and all that came back, because it works, but we always think in like, what's going to happen with this 5 years from now, right? And I think that it needs a little bit of love right now to make sure that we don't run into issues in 2-3 years. Right now it works perfectly fine for what it does.
Well, thank you. I know I put you on the spot there with that one. I just noticed it on the
No, I could have said, the thing is that I cannot lie. And when people ask me very straightforward questions like this, I cannot give you a bullshit answer. And I think that the one-shot ordinals has been very important for us, and the marketplace that we have with that Champions is using too. It works fantastically great. It's just that this interoperability situations where it takes a while it's not instant, right? When you send it from one service to another inside of HandCash, everything that happens HandCash to HandCash, everything is peer-to-peer, so it works fine. But if you try to send it from Takeit to the one-shot ordinals wallet and then to HandCash or whatever, it might take like 10-20 minutes or whatever, which is still better than many blockchains out there, especially given the price that you pay for the transactions. But it's not up to the standards that we are accustomed here in BSV. BSV, we want everything instant, fast, cheap, and whatever. So it can be a little bit better in terms of interoperability, but it works.
Have you thought about making your own protocol for your own NFTs?
We were about to last year. Not just for NFTs, but especially for fungible tokens. We ended up using tokenized, but we were very close to doing our own. Here's the funny story. So I don't know if you remember that we were about to launch USDC on BSV. We've been working with Circle very tightly for a year. Then something political happened, and they scrapped the project. So anyway, the thing is that we wanted to. We had to pick one technology to run this, and people said, no, you have to use Run. And we had our concerns about Run in terms of scalability, and we realized that there was one token protocol that nobody was talking about that was pretty nice. It was the Simple Fabric protocol, SFP, I think it was,
Mm-hmm.
which was, I think, developed by, I think, or at least based on some ideas by Ryan Charles.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty nice. It was pretty nice. But the thing is that it was kind of only used by Money Button, and Money Button was on its way down and its way out. And so we called Fabric and we tried to get the protocol. We even tried to buy the rights for it and just maintain it and whatever. But I don't know what was going on, but we couldn't get anyone on the phone to actually give us a straight answer. And it was like people calling other people and it will let you know, whatever. The thing is that we were running out of time and we needed to pick something. And it was when we were in Dubai for the Kogi conference last year that James Belding, he from Tokenized, he approached us a few times in the past, but we didn't have any specific need to actually use Tokenized because we were only using BSV. There were no plans for any stablecoin, so I don't know, we just couldn't justify using Tokenized for anything. But this time we had a very specific need, and we were talking with James, and he basically he convinced us that this was the best option. And all of our team, especially Brendan Bryant, who led the integration, he said, like, how the fuck we missed that these guys were around when this technology is 100 times better than anything else on BSV. And it was just a no-brainer for us. And we went with Tokenized. We did all the integration. Unfortunately, we couldn't launch the USDC stablecoin. But the cool thing is that we already had all the integration done, and it also urged the Tokenized team to get it production ready. And now they have this. They got a little bit of funding from Troy Money. Well, WorldVest. I think WorldVest is his investment company. But anyway, thing is that we're very happy that we're very happy that they got some investment, because that project is kind of the key for BSV to go mainstream, I think, in my opinion. I'm talking about Tokenized. And now there are a few that are not being discussed publicly, but there are a few companies that are working on stablecoin protocols and stablecoins and all that, and they're very close to be real. And we are already working on the integration. And the cool thing is that we did most of the work last year. And so, we are super excited to see the portal working with stablecoins, and because that's kind of the last missing piece that we have for appealing to mainstream audiences. We don't want people to be dealing with crypto fluctuations and price going up and down and all that. So I think just having US dollar stablecoin, euro stablecoin, maybe gold tokens or whatever we're talking with Troy Money, I think that's a very interesting concept. I don't know. I think this coming year is going to be very, very interesting in terms of all this finally being able to go mainstream after all these years. That was one of the issues with BSV, is that for all these political situations, we've always had to face a lot of headwinds in terms of not having the infrastructure we needed to actually build some of the things we wanted. And we had to even build our own exchange company in Lithuania and get the license and all that. And it's crazy that a wallet company has to go to that extent to just offer on and off ramps, when in any other blockchain is something trivial. You just sign up for any of these widgets and that's it. But I think things are changing, and we are seeing a lot of companies being more open to BSV, and maybe you see something from us in the coming days about this. And I think it's very exciting that if we finally can offer on ramps, off ramps the way we always wanted, or at least in a much better way, I think it's going to be pretty cool. And that with the stable coins, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Are you guys open for different protocols? I know, so you have one set ordinals. You work in a tokenized. If someone like approaches like, hey, I have this other type of protocol, I guess, how does that work? Like, what kind of requirements do you need for that, or what do you expect out of the
I mean,
developers?
the way we see it is that we don't want to be always changing the way we operate the company. I mean, the background of the company, because the most important part is what happens at the front end, right? Like how easy it is to sign up, error handling, building the UI of the wallet the best we can, creating HandCash Pay, all these experiences that have nothing to do with the blockchain. They ultimately use the blockchain at some point, but it's not the core of what we do. And if we had to change to another protocol, I mean, we will have to do a migration of every single token that's been issued, ask for consent because it's non-custodial. It's kind of so it's not trivial. It's not trivial, and so we'd rather not do any protocol changes from now on in a very long time. So we plan on keep using tokenized for fungible tokens, and for non-fungible tokens, at least for now, one-shot ordinals is working great. But it's like what's going on. I don't know if you've been following what we've been saying on Twitter the last few days, but we were kind of pissed off, or at least our team of engineers were kind of pissed off about some of the things that were happening on the network, which
Yes, I saw that.
which technically the network was okay, but the whole application level was fucked up in terms of reliability of the peer-to-peer transactions and all that. And I mean, it's just that their communication should be better between who's building the node software, the Bitcoin Association, the developer, and all that, because we see from our perspective, we see things and we have to face problems that people who work on products or protocols or whatever that do not have to deal with front-end users. It's very different. It's very different when you have like we, for example, we have onboarded like 130,000 users. When everyone is on the market trading with each other and expecting one item to come and whatever, everything has to be instant, has to be reliable and all that, because otherwise people get pissed off. On a test, maybe having a 2% failure rate is fine or acceptable to whatever degree, because you can justify that there's a lot of load on whatever in the network. But on the application layer, there are some things that just have to work reliably, like 99.999% of the time. And we were just bitching about that we use something called Mati, which we think it was a great idea. Maybe the execution was not fantastic, but which basically allowed us to send the transactions directly to miners. So that's the best way to broadcast, because you can send it to other nodes, but if they're not mining nodes, maybe maybe I'm getting too technical with this, but the thing is that there are a few things on the network that, the network was doing fine, but the application layer, the tools that we use, MAPI and all of that, were not reliable enough during those high load times. And that's something that, I don't know why I was mentioning this, but the thing is that our team was very pissed off because you said
Yes.
about reliability and all that. And well, it's reliable, but most people don't see how complicated it is behind the scenes sometimes, just to make sure that nobody notices when things are going wrong, right? And it's funny when users keep saying like BSV is the best, and when you complain, it's like, no man, you must be tripping. Everything is fine. BSV it's perfect.
I hate the cat. I hate kitty cat.
She insists on being in the call.
Oh,
She all wants to be in all calls. She wants to make sure that everyone knows.
And
yeah, with indexers, like I didn't realize how much they affect everything.
A lot.
Yeah.
and
Because I don't know.
You talked about no BS, and I appreciate that about your team as well, because I saw that pop off on Twitter the other day, or on X, And I thought, oh no, what is something happened? What is this about? And then kept looking, kept seeing the different people that were sending this message, and then the comments on the reply. And then, you got all the hagglers that come in going, hey, 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 hey. And I thought, what is this? But in the end, it turned out to be authentic conversation. And it's not bad to share your frustrations like that. And I think
you know what you know what happens. Let me be straight with this. So the problem is that there needs to be better communication between all parts that are building BSV. Application layer, no developers, BA, end-chain, all that, and communication should be better, right? And the problem is that we keep complaining and sending reports privately to maybe one of these parts or some parts, but maybe the information is not traveling the right way. So what I'm trying to say is that, I mean, the technology is great. Technology is great, but I think that maybe there have been some changes lately in terms of the personnel that's been on the BA, end-chain, this company, this other company, whatever. And, it's just that sometimes it's tougher than it needs to be. And I understand when some people, I've been through the weekend, my team was super pissed off because they had to spend, work like 24 hours on this on the weekend, to make sure that nobody notices failures or whatever. And nobody complained. So everybody thought that there was a few cases, right? Of, I just bought this item, I'm not getting the item or whatever. But we were getting worried because if this goes, even worse, we can only patch this from our side to a degree, right? But when you have real customers that expect the user experience to be good and all that, just imagine that with champions, they're doing all of this and people are buying the cards and nobody's receiving the cards for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, that happened on the live stream when I joined in the launch. I didn't see it in my wallet, and I was live streaming, and I thought, oh my gosh, I mean, I trust the integrity of all the people involved in this. So I'm going to look tomorrow and see. And then everything was there the next day. So I think
that's the thing. The network is not bad. The problem is that we need everything to work real time for what we do. Maybe if you're tracking, if you're tracking data on a supply chain or something like that, you can afford like 10 minutes timeout or things that don't work for a while or whatever. But when you have users that just spend $50 on cards and they don't arrive, that's something that's very infuriating for users, right? And that's something that you don't see if you work on the lab and working on the node or whatever. You're running tests, but you don't see this, right? And our team, we try to be as communicative as we can with all these teams that are building this technology. But what's with the thing with when you have people at different levels, right? Like you have to report the manager has to report the other guy or whatever, and so that has to get better, I think.
Yes.
But the thing is that a lot of people were complaining publicly, and sometimes people resort to go public because until sad to see, but sometimes, and it's not just for BSV, sometimes you need someone to call out someone else publicly or whatever, just to be able to shake things up a little bit and some action to happen. And I think that was kind of the case. And the thing is that there was so much noise on Twitter that the communication sped up and everyone was so involved in trying to figure out what's going on. And now we are testing one technology that's called Arc that's supposed to replace Mappy and all that. But we didn't want to be the first.
Arc? They keep talking about we're running Arc.
I'm not the most technical guy on my team, so I probably butchered the explanation on this. But basically, it's a way to broadcast the transactions to the network in a reliable way, right? And so we are testing this, but the first time that we heard about this was in alpha, which is not even beta. I don't know if you know about the development, but but there are some, like the alpha release, you can expect that there are a lot of bugs or whatever, and just to gather feedback. But we didn't want to be the first ones to actually put this in production with hundreds of thousands of users. I mean, it's risky, right? So we were waiting for more feedback and to maybe enter the production, be ready for production. But seems like we have to start implementing it before that and give more feedback and all that, which, again, compared to the things that I'm seeing, the problems of that people are having on BTC, Lightning, and all that crap, this is kind of a non-issue, right? But I like that people on BSB really take all of these things very seriously, because if you want to sell this to enterprise, it has to be like 99.999% reliable all the time, uptime.
Exactly.
There's no excuses. So we all have to step up, and if something's not right, we have to do something about it. And I think communication should be a little bit better. But again, I don't want to blame anyone. I think just like everyone is doing the best they can.
Yes.
We may have to figure out better communication channels or coordination within teams. But the thing is that technology is very solid, and we're very happy about BSB as a whole.
Great. And that was a key takeaway I got from Brandon. Recently, I saw his post on X. He said, Bitcoin is anti-fragile and we're scaling, and these bottlenecks can happen in the scaling process. But this is making us stronger because we're facing it, and we're building bigger and bigger and bigger. And in the mainstream, or in the whole past of the block size debate, people would use that as an example to say, see, you shouldn't try to scale for the world. But in fact, they're just hecklers, not hagglers, hecklers. That's what I mean. And this is, like they said, again, anti-fragile. So yes, as you build the muscle, there's a bit of pain, those pain points, and then you can continue to grow stronger. So I took it as inspirational. And I also love when people are real like that and are not afraid to speak out and go against the mainstream quo. So I like that. Well, we've definitely gone way over our scheduled time. We've gone 22 minutes over, but it's absolutely fascinating. I loved hearing about your collabs with Tokenized and James Belding. He's definitely one I'm always impressed with when he gives speeches. I love to watch his speeches. So I think that's cool to refer people to Troy Money and Tokenized. And then, of course, also, I wanted to give a shout out to our friends that are disrupting the entire gaming business model. And that is, dun, 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 dun. Let me do the production just a sec. We've got champions here, TCG. You can follow Manifestable on Twitter X. And you can see Champions TCG also on Twitter X. And this is Join the League of Champions. You can go to championstcg.com/app. This is one game within the portal of the HandCash metaverse. And also, if you would like to follow Alex, I see you made a bento page. So I'm just going to pop this up on the screen and tell us.
I'm not entirely sure of what's in that page now. I created it in 10 minutes and I said, okay, that's fine enough. I will come back later.
Okay, no worries. Well, I won't put it up then. I'll just say follow Alex on Agut on Twitter. And also HandCash, that is at HandCash APP on Twitter. And especially our great teacher here and friend and volunteerist who has been building and leading in this innovative space, Miss Rachel Brady. Ray, we love you. And let me go to find your Twitter real quickly, please. So if you want to really learn the best and also get lots of great photos and insight on Ray's daily life and be inspired every day, then follow her here on Twitter. Let me show you. Oh my goodness, y'all. I'm getting crazy with the clicks, okay? So here she is. There it is on the screen. And also just want to ask, Ray, do you have any closing thoughts?
I just want to say I agree with all that. Communication is really the best thing for everything to keep building and going. And then I really appreciate Rory here, helping. She's a great host, and she you do this all the time. If you're volunteering for this, and you are the person that lets everybody kind of discover BSB. So I think all of us appreciate that even if we don't say it every day.
Thank you, Ray.
Same.
That means a lot to me. Thank you. And also, I was meaning to say that Alex is the leader of HandCash, and it really is humbling that you were our guest today, Alex, because so many people might say, "Oh, I'm a big CEO," and you were just so generous to join us today, and that lends
It's
to
a
the
pleasure.
integrity of you and the people in the ecosystem. We're the best. We're simply the best.
No, it's a pleasure, Rory. And if it wasn't because of people like you, we wouldn't have the community that we have. And I think that's the best way. The thing that I've enjoyed the most out of this journey with HandCash is to see this community of people working together and building cool stuff together and giving feedback and fighting and all that. And it's just been amazing, this journey. So well, thank you for being such a great host.
Oh, thank you both. And Ray also as co-host. And we also must shout out to Sylvain. He's another one of our co-hosts that we love so much. So hopefully we can all get together again soon and be in the moment. And until then, welcome to follow Alex and Ray and myself online. You know all the channels. Oh, and remember to subscribe to the channel on YouTube and click like, whether you are on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Go ahead and take this moment to click the like button. And we send you, the world, lots of love, and know and trust that we are working hard to best serve you. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Okay.
Happy
Thank
Halloween.
you. You too.
Thank you.
Happy Halloween. Bye.
Yay, bye.